Hello there, everyone. As soon as I start chilling, I hear my email going off. I hear it's my email going off. I was gonna keep my grandbaby tonight, but I don't want to do that. Oh, hold on, you guys. See what kind of emails. Okay, you guys. Okay, they're saying the judges have voted to close General Sessions Criminal Court. Okay, you guys. How is everybody doing? I see Black Barbie, positive vibes. Um, Jocelyn Williams. Is that Natanya? Little Miss Muffin, Stanley, Patrick, new to you. We're gonna wait for more people to start coming in. Rochelle, how is everybody doing? Y'all know I have not spoken about this thus far as it relates to Nolan Wells. I don't know why now when I get to a point when these cases happen, I used to talk about them all of the time. Um when stuff like this happen now, I wait a little while before I talk about it. Hey Tyrone. I don't know. It drains me. And it's sad to me, to see things of this nature still happening. It's really sad. It happens a lot. And so when I looked at Nolan's case and down there in Mississippi, I thought about another case that I aired years ago. Desmond Moore. He went missing in Goche, Mississippi. And then I saw another young man that was with his Caucasian friends down in Dallas, Texas. And he went missing after they went fishing and they tried to cover that up. Okay. And I think to this day, I think they just arrested maybe like yesterday or today one of the friends, but they're saying that the young man was emotionally tortured. These were all young men on this fishing trip. Um, and I think it's so sad, that a lot of these young men have, I don't know if they're looking at the media, they're listening to their parents, but unfortunately, it seems to me that they have adopted the same type of, I guess, mm, personality or air that a black life don't matter. You may like him as a black friend. A lot of times, especially when a lot of these kids are raised up in the suburbs, and they're raised up around a lot of white children, and they teach us, or they say to us in our communities, well, color doesn't matter. We don't you shouldn't see color. And I think it's unfortunate that a lot of the fact of the matter is color does matter. It's sad, but it does. And so I think by trying to this campaign of trying to teach our children to be colorblind, that we're all the same, is supposed to be like that, but it is not. It is not like that. And so I think that we are handicapping our children and making a lot of them totally naive when they think or feel amongst some others, because all white people are not racist. And then you have to understand there are more races that are racist than white people, right? You have some people that may look just like you. They may have another nationality, but their skin may be just as dark as yours, but they may be racist against black people. I remember I was looking at this talk show. I know y'all remember Ricky Lake. She used to come on a long time ago. And I used to love to look at her talk show, right? And so she used to have all the crazies on there. And so this Hispanic family, this Mexican family was on there. And it was a girl and her brother. Her brother had an issue with her dating a white guy. Okay. He had an issue with her dating a white guy. Now, you have to understand, with Hispanics, with Mexicans, Puerto Ricans are basically black. Okay. Basically. Okay. That's why you look at Cardi B when she has babies with black men. The babies are they're totally just black. Okay. But Mexicans have I believe more European in them, a little bit more European, although a lot of their ancestors are black. Okay. A lot of their ancestors are black. They don't want it to touch them, but they are. But anyways, to make a long story short, so her brother had an issue with her dating a white guy, and he says, just as bold on Ricky Lake, well, I have issues with her dating a white guy because I want her to date a Mexican guy. Like, we have strong family values, and my thing is, if she'll date a white guy, I'm sure that there's some black guy that she'll mess around and date out there. And she says, no, sir. No, sir. I am not going to be. I would never do something like that. I would never date a black guy, somebody that's all in gangs and caught all up in gangs. No, no. He never has to worry about me dating a black guy. Okay. And so Ricky Lake was like, well, no, that's stereotype. All black people are not gang members. Okay. Now you're talking about all of the names that they have for Mexican people. Okay. All of the derogatory names. Okay. And, but, that's why I posted that on my wall today. Everybody wants to feel like that they are better than somebody else. Okay. It's a game that they have played. If you give I believe that was Lyndon Johnson. He says, and he was a racist old redneck. He says, if you give if you take the poorest white trash guy and make him feel like that he is better than the highest class, most educated, wealthiest black man, you can get all of his money. You can clear his pockets out. Everybody want to feel like they're better than somebody else. They be funky, stanky, pissy, shitty, and everything. Okay. no teeth in their mouth, ugly, living in a trailer park, shit running all down their leg. But if you know, everybody wants to feel like that they are better than somebody else, unfortunately, right? And so I think a lot of times, you know, more and more people are, you know, I have to say, I know that the black community get a bad rap, okay? We keep the news media in business, right? So that's why they go into the hoods, and they're never going to talk about all of the black women, you know, that are single mothers that are going back and getting their education and getting better jobs and bettering their lives. They're just going to talk about a single black mothers. They're going to give you the percentage on that, okay? More black women are single mothers and they're not married, and they have all these kids, but they're never going to talk about how a lot of those women have bettered their lives so that they can do well for their children, okay? I remember one time I was working with this girl with the Memphis Police Department. I'll never forget that. She was an old heifer then, okay? And I was sitting there about almost 8 months pregnant, okay? We were sitting in felony response, and she was about 38 years old. And somebody said to her, "When you gonna have a baby?" And she said, "Girl, no offense to you, Tamara, but I ain't gonna be around here pregnant." She wasn't she ain't had no kids, and the bitch wasn't married either, okay? But I can't, no offense to you, but I can't have folks around here sitting up talking about I've had babies and I ain't got no husband. I can't be doing that. But she was around there fucking everybody husband. I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, you know, my kids are not by married men." Okay, I put it to her just like that. Cause bitch, you want to talk about me being pregnant, having babies, having get ready to have two babies, and I wasn't married. You weren't married, but you was around there fucking everybody husband. Okay. And I knew because we had conversations. Okay. She sit there and have conversations with me. It was cute to her. Okay. So unfortunately, everybody wants to believe that they are better than somebody else. Okay. And so what's being taught is I think that what we're doing is we're setting our children up to get themselves hurt when we work hard and we want to put them in better neighborhoods. And you know, a lot of times people feel like, well, they feel like they made it if they move into a predominantly white neighborhood. That's unfortunately that's how people's minds are. You know, I'm the only black people. I'm the only black people sis in my neighborhood. They feel like they made it if they live around a bunch of white people and they still don't accept them, right? And so their kids can go to, you know, the white schools, and of course the better educations are in the white schools because it is set up that's by design, okay? And we let them get away with that, right? And so, you know, well, you know, I'm teaching my kids not to see no color. I'm teaching my kid we all the same. Yeah, we are all the same, but no, you need to teach your children, okay, that they can be a target, because all white people are not evil, just like all black people are not evil. But it happens, and when things of this nature happens, when white children do something to their black friend, we see this in the media. We can talk about this, and I can say this because we see this. It is covered up. Their family members got somebody in politics, or they are in politics. They are judges, um, and they cover it up. Okay, they call the police chief, or they know the mayor who is over the police chief, and they have them to cover it up. Okay, and so it is really sad, you know, with Nolan Wells, right? It's obvious that there is some type of foul play. Okay. It's some type of foul play. And when they said that one of the young men that was on the boat, his mother is a judge. Well, you have to understand the way lawyers work. I said, oh Lord, they're never going to tell the truth. They're never going to say anything. Judges are lawyers. Y'all do know that, right? Judges are lawyers. They have to be lawyers before they're ever judges. And the rule of a lawyer is never say nothing. Okay? Never say anything. I'm going to tell y'all something I heard a lawyer say one day. I'm going to tell y'all something I heard a lawyer say. When I was working those capital defense cases when I was in the private sector, I was sitting right in there because they always wanted an investigator to be with them. And so the lawyers were talking, and so the client was in there. He said, well, you know, we have 3 types of defenses. Okay. And that's what he told the client. And I'm not going to say which lawyer it is, but I only work with lawyers that have money. Okay. That's how I know they're very crafty. But they're paid to be. And he said, there are 3 types of defenses. He said, so here's a scenario. He told me, he said, you listening, young lady? I said, yeah. He said 3 defenses are, okay. 1, my dog, you say my dog bit you. Okay. My dog wasn't out that day. That's defense 1. You say my dog bit you. Number 2, I don't really believe that my dog bit you. That's defense number 2. And he said, now, this is the most important one. Defense 3, I don't even have a damn dog. You just flat out lie. That's why they tell you never say nothing. And so when I saw that, and you have to understand, judges have a lot of reach. I mean, they all, you know, play golf together. They're all friends. You're talking about in Mississippi, where everybody is racist. Okay. Of course they're going to cover. A lot of them still believe, even though they try to get along with black people, they have to try to play like that. So that they can, you know, get the votes of the black people, or they want to, we're all one. They don't believe that, especially not down deep in the Mississippi Delta. And so it's so unfortunate because they're going to try to do everything that they can to ensure that Nolan, who had every right to believe that he was equal to all of those white kids that he was with. But a lot of these white kids, they listen to their parents at the dinner table. They still have dinner together. They listen to all of the other judges and all of the other their parents, you know, business partners and other politicians that they have dinner with when they cracking jokes as it relates to black people. And then they'll tell them, well, you know, we don't say racial slurs, at least not in public. You know, you can get sued, and you don't want to have to go through all of the shenanigans that you'll have to go through. So they teach them, you keep it quiet. And they tell them flat out, because of all of the things that could happen. And in their mind, they're saying to them, and we have to do this because now you're not free. Freedom of speech is not really freedom of speech anymore. And if we don't want to have any issues in life, then we have to go along to get along. But secretly, you know, when we're with the other judges and the police officers, that they all play golf with, and the mayor who is over the police officers, who they can make a call, the judges can make a call to, okay, to ensure that investigations are not done as they should, especially in these small ass towns. I think I told y'all from the very start when I got back on here 6 years ago. The 3 most important people in your county and your city, as it relates, I said people be paying all attention, going crazy over the damn president. But the 3 most important races is the judge's race, the district attorney's race, and the sheriff's race. Those three can fuck your life up. Haven't I told y'all? My day ones, then I told y'all that because I've been working in the criminal justice system forever. They're more important than even the president's race. Okay. And so now you got, this young man, and look at how brazen they are with it. They didn't even want to give the young man's family his phone. Who they think they are? The mama have to beg for her child's phone, and then she gets the phone, and they've deleted everything out of it. How did they get his passcode? So that means if they was able to get his passcode, that means that somebody has access to somebody in a higher law enforcement agency, whereas they can, if they get they don't have to have your damn phone to delete nothing out of it. Okay. But in order for them to have their phone, somehow the phone was gotten into, and the mama said just about everything was deleted. Nothing that happened that night was in the phone, and she knew. She said he took pictures of everything, everywhere he went. Okay. And so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't have hope, because I've seen how this has turned out, especially when you start going further down south, especially in Mississippi. I don't even trust MBI in Mississippi. They don't even get justice for Black people. MBI would be the FBI down there. They don't even get justice. Okay. You're welcome, Red Clay. And so it's really sad that things of this nature is constantly going on. See, I say all the time, we be worried about the wrong things. We get around here, get the hollering and fussing and worried about who coding who and this and that. I heard this. It don't mean a hill of beans. We got bigger fish to fry. And the fish is old. It old and rotten. We should have been fried it. Okay, but we don't deal with issues like this until it's staring us in our front door. Don't you know, if we all got children, okay, that this is our issue? If we have Black children, Black grandchildren, it's our problem. Okay, it's our problem. So I want to pull up something, okay? And I'm going to talk about the other boys, but I just been laying low looking at Nolan's stuff, and it hurts me to talk about stuff like this, cuz I don't believe there is going to be any justice. I don't have any hope in the justice system in Mississippi. They pride themselves on their rebel and being racist. They don't even consider Black people human beings. Okay? Anyways, let's look at a few things, okay? Let's look at a few things. Now they're saying that Attorney Ben Crump is saying there's a photo of Nolan showing, and the kids are saying that it wasn't Nolan. Nolan's mother says that it was him. They want to make and this was after they left the island, which means he came off of the island, which means something had to happen. And they took him back to the island after they did something to him. They want to make a Black mother who carried a child for 9 months and gave birth to him and saw him every day they say that's not Nolan. His mother says it was him. Okay. Now, who is this old man right here? Why he in there with them damn kids? He don't look right. Okay. Attorney Ben Crump claims a photo proves 18-year-old Nolan Wells was alive hours before his body was found on a Mississippi island. Nolan was reported missing around 3 p.m. on July 6th. According to Crump, the college football player was at a residential pool party with friends on July 5th. The photo was originally posted on Instagram by Chanel Tyrod TV, a user with 85 followers. Her bio reads true crime investigation, celebrity gossip, and trending topics. The photo shows a black teen in a swimming pool with at least 24 white teens. Fireworks and 2 cans of beer are marked in red next to the pool. Crump, who is representing Nolan's family, shared the photo on the Instagram page. In the caption, Crump wrote, "The streets are talking." Now listen, I don't know if these are facts or rumor because no official statement have been confirmed. We sometimes have to follow all clues until the truth is found. He continued, social media allegations claim a photo exists of Nolan at a land-based pool party in Jackson County at 1 a.m. on July 5th. Police say Nolan traveled to Horn Island with several friends on a boat to celebrate the 4th of July holiday. His friends, including a judge's son, left the island without him hours later. Nolan's body was found face down in shallow water near the shoreline on Horn Island on Monday. So it seemed like to me that there was a fight and they took his head and pushed it down in that water, okay, until he stopped breathing. I think that's what it was. That's exactly what they did to him. Okay. You never know. He might have been dating a white girl and somebody had an issue with that. But one thing that we do know, none of those white kids are going to break and tell on the other one. That week I can promise you. Okay. An autopsy determined he drowned. There were no signs of foul play or trauma on his body. Crump said Nolan was an excellent swimmer. Okay, right. Okay, so they took his head and put it down, held his head down in that water where he couldn't get no air and drowned him. That's what happened. Okay, Crump pointed out several discrepancies, such as Nolan's cell phone was not on him and messages on his phone was deleted. The family used the Life 360 GPS tracking app to locate his phone at a friend's house. The friend said Nolan left his phone on the boat. This does not smell right, the Reverend Al Sharpton said at a news conference. Some people are saying, Reverend, are you bringing race in? Now, let me just say this, okay? Let me finish reading this. I'm going to talk about them, okay? Well, we're not bringing race in, he says, but we're not discounting race either because we don't know what it is. So to tell us, don't rush to judgment saying it was racist is fine. But then I'm telling you, don't rush to judgment saying it was not racism because we don't know. Former NFL player Colin Kaepernick and Tyler Perry paid the expenses to fly Nolan's body to Washington, D.C. for an independent autopsy. It is not adding up. And that's why the family, at their best behest, we had an independent autopsy being performed. Crump said Friday, we had his body flown from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. because his family wanted to make sure that they had a doctor who had no ties to Mississippi law enforcement to do independent examination on their son. The results of the second autopsy will be announced very soon, said Crump. Kaepernick and Perry are paying for Nolan's funeral and memorial services, okay? Now, that's the best thing that could have happened, okay? That's the best thing that could have happened. His mother says, okay, and I'm getting ready to pull up that interview. His mother says that she had the Life 360 on his phone and it was showing that he was on land. Now, why did they delete his messages? Was he trying to call for help? Was he trying to call his mother for help or something? So why would they take his phone to delete all of his messages? Okay. Hold on one second, you all. Y'all hit that like button.
Circumstances, know how extremely tough it must be, and we can express our how sorry we are for you and your family. And first question, how are you two holding up?
Taking it second by second,
day by day.
Second by second and day by day, which we all can understand. And I just want to ask you, the friends that Nolan traveled to Horn Island with, they say that he stayed behind voluntarily. Why would he stay behind?
That we cannot answer. I can't fathom why he would. Like,
I don't know why he would. We always taught him to, if you go with a group, you stay with a group. Mm-hmm. Even when he was in college, he would say, Dad, well, we're gonna ride down to a party or something in another city. So I was telling him, look, if you go with 5, you come back with 5. Do not separate from your group. Because I always said safety is in numbers. Mm-hmm. And he always said, yes, sir. So he knew to stay with his group. So why would he split from his group? I don't know.
So that would have been unusual for him to split from the group.
Yeah.
And you said he would always check in with you. Did he check in with you that day?
So that day, no, I don't. But of course, too, they were on the boat, and usually when he is out there with it's not uncommon. I think he's been going there occasionally with his friends. And so it would always just be like, hey, Mom, I'm back type of thing. But this time there was no call or text from him. It was from his friend.
And then, too, really didn't worry a lot about it because, it was his last weekend to have fun.
Yeah.
Because that Monday he had to report to school. We was preparing to take him back for camp to prepare for the season. So, we're gonna see. He wanted to have his last little hurrah before he locked down and get ready for the season. Because, like I said, the entire summer he's training. He got more serious. He started to understand what I was trying to tell him about football, not just being fun, but as you get farther in it, it becomes a business. If you want to excel, you have to understand, and you have to understand both at the same time.
And we know, Ben, that you said that you're going to do an independent investigation.
Yes.
And you say you have Nolan's cell phone and messages were deleted. How could you tell messages were deleted?
Well, his parents got the phone back, and that's something that's important, Michael, because they track this phone on Life 360.
So Life 360, but when I received the phone call from Warren, I immediately called my friend Tashima and I said, hey, have you guys seen Nolan? Because her 2 sons, Jalen and Javon, they grew up together. They played City League sports together. When they got into school, they played sports together. And so she was like, hey, okay, the boys were pulling up the location from Snapchat. So the Snapchat location looks completely different than the Life 360 location. So when I pulled up Life 360, it was different. It was showing everywhere the phone had been. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land. He's like, but no, he didn't come back with us.
Well, how were you able to get the phone?
So we tracked it, and my friend Tashima went and picked it up.
It wasn't like they said we got his phone. They tracked it, and that highlights all these contradictions, Michael. The fact that they said Nolan was talking to a young woman and she said that he said, I'm going back to get on the boat with the boys. The boys said that he said he was going to stay with her. And so that's an obvious contradiction. And then this video of this Nolan is saying, give me my freaking phone. What are you freaking doing? And so then his phone ends up missing. I don't know any teenagers, Michael Strahan, who says, if you believe their story, I'm gonna stay behind and I'm gonna leave my phone. I mean, no young person leaves their cell phone. And so then there's so many things their parents were telling us about. Even why didn't his body wash up with the tide on Sunday? Why would it come on Monday? It's not adding up. And that is the problem when you think about the history of Mississippi.
Yeah, so there are so many questions that need to be answered. And is there anything you'd like people to know about Nolan? What would you like them to know about your son?
No,
It's okay.
Nolan, take your time. Nolan was very loving. He was liked by all. It was not a friend that he couldn't make.
No, we'll be right back with more for the parents of Nolan Wells and attorney Ben Crump. We're back now on GMA with the parents of Nolan Wells, Christina and Elmore Wansley. And I want you to please continue to tell us what you want the world to know about your son.
So Nolan was just like this bright light, right? Walk into a room, his smile, his energy was just so infectious. Like it's almost like he drew you into him. And he was just one of those people, like he always wanted everyone to be included. He didn't want anyone to feel left out. I remember one of his teachers emailing us. I can't remember what grade he was in, but basically it was math class. They had a special needs student and she asked a question and Nolan got everyone to put their hands down because he wanted that student to answer. And so student answers the question and she was like, Christine, the classroom, Nolan went crazy and everyone else started going crazy, just celebrating that child. Mm-hmm. Making them feel included. And that was the person he was. Like he loved everyone. And I always told Nolan, like, you have to be careful when you have such a big heart like that. I love that God blessed you with that, but you have to be careful with that because that it's not always returned, that type of love. But he was just genuinely a good person. Like I always say, all the best parts of me are with him.
Mm. And Dad, anything else you want to add?
It's just, he's going to be really missed. I know a lot of his teammates, they all look to him as a leader. He's more like a silent leader. Not real big on words, more action, which is kind of like I was. I really wasn't real big on talking. I really wanted to show you and you follow me and people follow him. And it's gravitated. He put in the work, he worked hard, and he knew he was focused on what he wanted. And he wanted to make life better for, his family. He wanted to have his own family. He used to say, Dad, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to build this. I said, well, son, you got to take it one step at a time. Slow down, let's walk this thing out. Let's train, let's sign our deals, let's make these teams, make these camps, put the work in, and everything else will work out. Even his baby brother, their bond got even stronger because now I have a big brother that he's finna do something. So now I want to outdo that. So his focus and his confidence has got even better. So I was looking forward to both of them having outstanding years.
Seasons,
It seemed like he inspired in the home and he inspired
Absolutely.
Outside of the home. And Attorney Crump, where do we go from here? What's next?
Well, the deleted messages that Christina was going to
So-
briefly touch on, we want to
Yeah.
get
so
the phone
to
and figure that out.
backtrack on that, when we finally got his phone, me and my sister went through the phone. We went in his Snapchat. He had 2 accounts, absolutely nothing. It wasn't even 24 hours, which is how long videos and pictures stay in Snapchat. And I was just like, that can't be. Like, I've seen Nolan whenever he snaps, like when he goes and he's having fun, like he does videos. Like, there was absolutely nothing, no saved videos. And even my sister was like, yeah, that's suspicious,
Michael, we having an independent autopsy done at the behest of his family. Colin Kaepernick helped pay for the independent autopsy. We flew his body up from Mississippi to D.C. because they wanted an autopsy done by a person with no interaction with the Mississippi law enforcement, because there's an issue of trust here that is really important. And the fact that they keep trying to say, we're suggesting it was a drowning, but nobody out there reported him drowning, it's not adding up, Michael Strahan. It is not adding up.
And honestly, we are doing this because at the end of the day, I would hope any parent would fight for their kids to find out if anything happened, what did happen. So we just want honesty and transparency. We want a thorough investigation. We want that same respect that would be given to anybody else. And that's it. We just want answers.
Well, we really appreciate all of you being here. We hope you get the answers that you deserve to have, and we hope you get the closure that you need. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
I don't know about I empathize with them, but I think that the mother is still wanting to downplay race. I don't know what her profession is, but she wants to downplay it. And I believe race was very much a part of it. And no other white kid was out there that was hurt out there. What made them think that they could just do that to the one black child that was out there and get away with it? Okay. I agree with you, Mika. And so it's really sad what is going on. They delete his messages. It's been really, it's really sad, that your child has to be flown to Washington, D.C., out of the South, okay, because everybody kind of works together down there, right? And what's so sad is, fortunately for him, it's getting publicity. He gets celebrities to get involved. I wish that Reverend Al Sharpton and all of them would do this for all of the black people that this has happened to. But if there's not a lot of publicity behind it, they don't get involved. Okay. And so that's why people are able to use the race baiting, because you only see Al Sharpton and them, and this happens all of the time, unfortunately, but you only see them when it's a lot of publicity, right? So if you don't get a lot of publicity, I guess the other black people that this happens to, okay, I guess to them it does not matter if they don't have a lot of cameras. Interface, I said DC, you're right, and I got ready to say that. I was going to say DC. They consider DC as being the South. Okay. I don't know how, when it's up there with Maryland and Virginia, and but Virginia is considered the South. I do believe that Virginia is considered the South. You're right. And that's the DMV area. Maryland, Virginia, and DC, but Maryland is not considered the South. Isn't that weird? Maryland is not considered the South. It's weird because I hear people say that DC is probably only like what 3.5 hours from New York. Okay. He says Southern Virginia is considered a part of the South. Um, Tony Walker says, this is the power Mississippi has always had, even in the slave. And Mississippi prides themselves on keeping that power, keeping those old rebel ways. They pride themselves on this, right? And you have a lot of black people that live in Mississippi, but a lot of like you hear folks say, "Oh, Mississippi getting down because they be down there killing folks. They just be killing each other." Because you can go into Mississippi and steal some penny candy and you subject to get 25 years if you're black. And don't tell me they won't do it, because they have done it to two black women that went into a store and stole a few dollars worth of candy, and they got like 15, 20 years. So they pride themselves on this, and they still have that, I guess, that aura of black people are not human beings. And so even when you start going further down in Mississippi, you still have black people. They still have sundown towns in the South, especially deep in the Delta. If you go missing down there, because the police, the sheriff, the judges, all of them work together because they are related. Okay? Because they're all related. It says Mississippi, the land of lynchings, and they still use it as a stage to do it to this day. It says they're gonna be real quiet about it. They're just waiting for the publicity to kind of die down. The news will start talking about something else. And so we do know with the attorneys, with the judge lady, they're going to play the long game. And the long game is being quiet, deny till you die, and it'll go away. And so that's why it is it's good to stay on stuff like this. But what kind of real investigation is he going to get? MBI can't be trusted. MBI can't be trusted. They cover up stuff. You definitely can't trust the police departments and the other politicians. So is he going to really get some justice? He said public service announcement: no driver license in Mississippi will cost you thousands. Wow. You all make sure y'all hit the like button. Hold on one second. I want to pull up Nolan Wells' friend. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Please like, share, and subscribe. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Hold on, you guys. Let me see. I'm looking for his friend that did an interview. Y'all hit that like button for me.
Gursky has traveled to Ocean Springs, Mississippi. He has the story for us. Good morning to you, Aaron.
And good morning, Robin. From the very spot where the body of Nolan Wells was brought after it was recovered from the water. And his death, his mysterious death, has truly devastated this community. We're hearing now for the first time, Robin, from an eyewitness, a friend of Wells who was with him on that fateful July 4th boat trip.
I just know I've lost my best friend.
This morning, a friend of Nolan Wells, who was with the 18-year-old the day he was last seen alive, is sharing what he says happened during a July 4th boat trip to an isolated barrier island off the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Trayston Shepard declined to speak with us on camera because he says he and his friends are getting threats.
We did no wrong here, and we don't understand how we're getting so much hate behind it. We all cared and loved Nolan, and nobody wanted to see Nolan die. Nobody wanted to see his life be taken so short.
Shepard addressed this viral video that investigators have been studying. Wells's parents worried it showed their son involved in a confrontation, but Shepard said that's him, not Wells.
That's the video I'm referring to. That's me yelling.
Shepard says he took a boat back from Horn Island in the late afternoon, but Wells stayed behind with a girl he had met.
They met that day, and it was kind of one of those things. It did come off that day that he really did like her, but that was the only time they've ever hung out, was at Horn Island on July 4th.
Investigators believe Wells drowned and say there were no immediate signs of foul play. But there is growing frustration in the community, and his parents are skeptical, telling GMA Wells left his phone behind and they tracked it to one of his friends.
It was showing everywhere the phone had been, like it had. I was like, well, it's showing that he's back on land.
The sheriff said the parents have not turned over the phone to investigators. Their lawyer said they will. While the investigation goes on, Trayston Shepard wants the focus on his friend.
I want everybody just to relax and let everybody mourn the loss of Nolan, and let us remember him as in like the sweet guy. I think everybody needs to let the investigation continue.
Well, it's easy for him to say to let the investigation continue. Now, is that one that's talking? Is he a black guy too? There was another one who I think he was on TMZ. Now, I think I'm at TMZ. Let me see. Okay, because they've taken his interview down on TMZ. Y'all, they took the young man down. Javon. Hold on. I mean, it has totally been taken down on all social media. It's look like. I had to go to somebody else who actually recorded it.
Ranger offers over 1 million high-quality products, from motors and belts to switches and sensors, helping maintenance engineers keep production lines moving. Call, click, or stop by. Ranger, for the ones who get it done.
Javon, have you seen the video that's been going around social media where people think that they're hearing an argument between people and they're wondering whether or not Nolan is one of the people in that argument? You just described that you had another friend, not Nolan, another friend who was in and got into a dispute. Is that video the other argument that you were talking about?
Yes.
So, but is that Nolan in the video?
I can't tell. It's too far away. But in that video, I feel like the voices are too clear. Like from the side, it's too clear for it to be that far away, for it to be Nolan arguing. And then also that altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into an altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it. So
describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
I'm curious if the police have. I know they said they're still investigating. Did any investigators ever speak to you about what you saw that day?
No, sir.
Really? Okay. Cops have not talked to you yet.
No, sir.
That's odd.
I don't see why the cops would have to talk to me. I mean, obviously, like, you know, like I had said my plea, like, because whenever I had talked to the people at Sunherd, it was whenever, you know, the body was discovered and the autopsy people and all those people were there.
Well, I'll tell you why I'm surprised. Because you knew Nolan well, and you knew that he was friends with these guys who were the last ones to be around him before his body was found. And I would think they would at least want to know, hey, just the things we're asking. Right. You know, did you ever hear of any of this stuff? It's odd to me. Just to gather information. Yeah, that the cops wouldn't have contacted you. Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, I'm completely fine with that. Like I said, I have nothing to hide. Like, that's my boy, and I want him to find justice. Like, that, like, this whole case thing, like, whatever, like, this whole situation, none of this adds up to me. So, like, it's really hard, like, for, like, people to just, like, keep on saying things when, like, none of it adds up, honestly.
So one of the things that I'm sure, Javon, you've seen has been a big part of this story, people making the point that, at least in the photos that we initially saw, that Nolan was the only African-American kid who was out there, at least on that boat. Do you think, having been there on the island with this large group of people, that race plays a factor in whatever happened here?
Again, I don't want to answer that. I don't want to answer that question. I wouldn't say, like, yeah, I wouldn't want to answer that question. I mean, obviously, we go to Ocean Springs. We're going to have white friends. So, like, that's, I mean, I guess it's pretty normal down here, but.
Yeah, I mean, and I hear you. If that's, I guess you're saying that it's normal. It's not out of place to be a black teen in that area and that you have white friends, right? That's not uncommon is what you're saying.
I'm sure every black person has white friends somewhere, you know? So I wouldn't say that it's a whole race thing, but it's just like, obviously they're going to paint it as that because none of this adds up.
Well, unfortunately, he's out of touch. I think his parents need to talk to him more because he'll find himself in the same situation. Okay. And hopefully he wasn't involved, because if he was, that everything is going to be put on him. Okay. It don't add up. It is weird. Hey, people don't understand how deep racism runs. And for me, unfortunately, I don't feel like I would be surprised if he got justice. Okay. Now, I know you all may see that I put up 2 more young men. One of the young men, I just happened to run across his case today. Another young man, I covered his case years ago, about 8 years ago. And his name is Desmond Moore. He went missing from around that area, Goche, Mississippi. Okay. He had white friends, and he was last seen at a Pizza Hut around that area. The camera got him getting into the car with his white friends, and he was never seen again. Okay. These young men, one of their father was a politician. Okay, their father was a politician, and it's funny because probably earlier this year I called down to Goche, Mississippi, to see if there were any updates on Desmond's case, and they said that they didn't even have a Desmond Moore in their system. Okay, that was missing. They don't even have him in the system. In their system, from the very start, they did not do what they were supposed to do. These young men fathers were a father was pulling strings for them, and his mother could not get any help. Hold on one second. You all give me just a moment. I want to show you all something. Y'all hit that like button for me. Okay, so I did this video. So I ended up speaking with Desmond Rogers' mother, okay? And she's going to tell you all. I'm just going to play about 3 or 4 minutes of it, of the interview that I did with her. It says 11 years ago. And he went missing in 2012. No, he went missing in 2014. Okay. After, hey, the things that they did afterwards, one of the white guys called his dad back and asked the dad, did he have any other phones or anything like that? He actually worked for a phone line company or something. I mean, it was the way that they did him is the way that this case was handled, but it was the same things that happened. These boys' dad is a politician. You couldn't get the Goche, Mississippi Police Department to do anything. Okay. Okay, so you're right down there on the coast. And is that like a little small town in Mississippi?
Yes, it's a little small town. You in and you out.
Okay. So, who was Desmond Moore to you?
Well, that is my oldest son. I have 3 kids, and he's the oldest.
Okay. Tell my audience what kind of person your son Desmond was.
Desmond is very outgoing, loving. He has a very kind heart. He'll help anybody if he can. He's loyal. He just has a very kind spirit. And, since he's been missing, I actually didn't know that so many adults around my age had encountered contact with my son. said that he told her that he was going with his white friend and he'll be right back.
Okay, and these were all male whites?
Hi.
These were all male whites?
Yeah, male.
Okay. Okay, so you were out of town when he left home?
Yes.
Okay. So did you know anything? Had you ever met these particular friends before?
Yes, I had met them shortly after he met him. He met him in 2012 when he was working at the Chevron oil refinery plant here in Pascagoula. And they had became friends. When he became friends with one, and then the other one was the brother to the one that he became friends with. And so he started hanging with them, going up to their home and riding their motorcycles with them. And him and the one that he met originally at the Chevron. Became real good friends.
So his female friend said that he told her he was going up to the Pizza Hut. Am I right?
No, he told her he was going with his white friend. He never actually told her the location. How I found out the location is later. I found out the location later through his Facebook messages.
Okay. Okay, but did he leave walking?
Yes, he left walking.
Okay.
It's about a 15-minute walk. When I did the walk to set up a timeline, because I was trying to figure out which way he would have left from the house, because he could have left 3 different, ways. So, me and my mom and a friend of ours, all 3 of us left the house at the same time, and we all arrived at the Pizza Hut like within seconds of each other. So basically, it's about a 15-minute walk.
So when did you realize that something had gone wrong?
When his girlfriend called me Monday evening, I had just got on the highway to come back home. And at that point in time, she called to tell me that Desmond was missing, that he left her at my house and he never came back. And originally, she thought maybe he had left and wanted to be with another girl, but in my mind, I'm saying that makes no sense. Why would he leave you at my house?
Right.
And he knows how I am, especially a whole weekend. That just makes no sense. So I was kind of irritated at the fact that she waited so long to contact me. This point in time with her knowing how different it is, definitely by Sunday morning, if he was not back here, you should have contacted me then. Don't wait till 5-something is Monday evening to call me.
Okay, do you mind me asking, was his girlfriend, was she a female black?
Was she what?
Was she an African American?
Yes.
Okay. So why do you think she waited so long to tell you? That is unusual for someone to sit at another person's house.
Not down here trying to help me find him. Not, why could you just pull away and completely shut down? It makes no sense to me.
Okay, now the male whites, his white friends, as she said, he said that he was supposed to go meet Did you ever speak with them?
I did speak with them. I spoke with them September the 3rd, I think was that Wednesday. That Wednesday, I had to go through his friends list because I never knew their last name. So I had to get on Facebook, on his Facebook page, and go through his friends list to get their last name. And I sent them a message by Facebook, and the one that was supposed to be his best friend did contact me by telephone. He informed me that he also verified that he was supposed to meet Desmond at the Pizza Hut on that day. But he claims that Desmond never came and that he waited 45 minutes. However, he failed to tell me that it was him and his brother waiting on my side. Now, when I contacted the brother, because unbeknownst to him, I don't think he knew that I was going to contact his brother. I contacted his brother. His brother said the same thing. They were at the Pizza Hut. They waited 45 minutes. He never showed. However, and mind you, when I talk to them, I don't get half the Facebook messages. So I just strictly have what they're telling me. I didn't get into his Facebook messages until Wednesday night. And I talked to them like Wednesday afternoon. So Wednesday night when I get into Facebook messages, I see that at 12:20, the one that's supposed to be my son's best friend says, I'm here, meaning I'm at the Pizza Hut. At 12:26, my son says, I'm on my way. So you're telling me you waited 45 minutes and not one time do you send another message saying, where are you? Not one time do you send a message saying, what's taking you so long? Me personally, I don't have that type of patience, never have. If you tell me you're on your way, in 10 minutes, I'm contacting you saying, what's up? Where are you? How far away are you? Are you still coming? What happened?
So they didn't call.
Some kind of communication between the I'm not even gonna wait on you.
Friend.
Use the Wi-Fi. So that's why we're going to Facebook message. But my thing is, you never sent another message. And you say you waited 45 minutes. I don't believe you.
Which is strange. He was waiting on him.
Because my son showed up and my son got in your car and y'all took him off and did whatever you did.
So.
And I'm going to believe that until somebody proves me otherwise.
So I do find it strange that they were waiting on him to come.
Yeah.
And they were waiting on him to come. The last message was he was at the Pizza Hut, and your son sent him a message and said he was on his way. They're saying that your son never made it, but there was never another message asking where he was.
Exactly.
So were they ever questioned by the police?
They were never brought in by the police. The sheriff's department, it was a lieutenant that was fired shortly after. He talked to them over the phone. And when he spoke to them over the phone, he spoke to the one that was supposed to be my son's best friend, called him back first. And he claimed he was by himself at the Pizza Hut. However, so straight up the gate, that was a lie. However, when the other brother called, the other brother said, yes, my brother waited for him at the Pizza Hut. So automatically, the lieutenant is like, wait a minute, your brother said you wasn't nowhere in the car. And so then the interview got shut down quickly because now the brother feels like that the lieutenant is trying to play him against his brother. But actually, I was in the office during both phone calls. So he wasn't being played. His brother did say that he was by himself at the Pizza Hut.
So they had two completely different stories.
Two completely different stories. But my thing is, the truth stands alone. So why are you lying about something so simple as to whether you had someone with you or you were by yourself? So if you're lying straight out the gate, it's some more lies that follows that lie. Not only that, because the police did not move when I found the police report, I had to get out and do my own investigative work, which is how I got the Facebook messages and found out exactly what friends he was supposed to meet and where and all of his stuff. I was handing out flyers and someone gave me the tag number to the car that they say they saw my son get in. He described the car as best as he could, but most importantly, he gave me the tag number. I gave it to the sheriff's department at the time who was working on the case. At that point in time, Goshay demanded to be the lead investigator, and the lieutenant called me and was like, well, Lieutenant, you didn't call and give us this information. And I bluntly told him, because you didn't give a damn.
So someone...
Y'all made out, I wish you could see the actual police report that they have called themselves make it. You have more information on a traffic ticket than is what is in my son's missing persons report.
Okay, Delana, let me ask you this. So someone at the Pizza Hut actually saw your son Desmond get into the car with them.
Yeah, he wasn't at the Pizza Hut. The guy said he was walking down the street. I guess around the same time my son was walking down the street towards the Pizza Hut, and he saw my son in the car. And he just remembered the tag number. And also, Goshay texted me, the lieutenant on the case texted me saying, well, how did he remember it? First of all, I handed out flyers. I don't know the questions to ask. You know, as far as somebody, I don't care how he remembered. He gave me a tag number. I'm giving it to the police. The tag number, see who it comes back to. It comes back to the
father of the two male whites, which were his best friends that he was supposed to meet.
Yeah.
So,
however, the brothers swear up and down that they never came to Mississippi in that car because they live in Grand Bay, Alabama. So if you never came to Mississippi in that car, I have never been to a police academy, but this is just basic common sense to me. If you never came to Mississippi, how can someone who lives in Mississippi get your tag number and describe your car?
Absolutely.
If you say you never drove that car on that day, you drove a total different car.
Wow. So how far is Alabama?
The killer part is the police contacts the father about the car. The father tells them he's not cooperating. He's not bringing nothing to Mississippi. He knows his wife. His boys have lawyers. He told his boys not to cooperate. They actually hid the car. Then I was told about a month and a half into the investigation that they found the car hidden on some other property of the father's or another relative. They found the car. So why are you hiding a car that you never drove to Mississippi? To this day, that car has not been searched. They had time to burn the car, sell the car, crush the car. You know why the car has not been searched? And this is why I'm dealing with anger. The car has not been searched because they said they need an eyewitness that puts my son in the car. No judge is what I was told. No judge on the Gulf Coast would give them a search warrant to search that car. I've never heard of such. You got people on death row for much less. I've never heard of such.
Absolutely.
What do you mean? They lied about the car.
So Delana, how far is
a witness from Mississippi that gave me the tag number to the car?
How far is Grand Prairie, Alabama?
They make me nauseated. just to say that, just to even mention them in this interview, it makes me sick to my stomach because I've been lied on. They've lied to different search groups that have wanted to help me early in the investigation and told them that the family is not cooperated. But I'm the one that's out here was beating the streets down, still doing it. I'm the one, and then when I kept telling them that family has a lot of private property, hunting ground, he kept saying, well, Miss Moore, you know you can't go on private property. Well, Miss Moore, you know it's illegal to go on private property. I said, well, you can go on, but it's no judge, everything, no judge will give them. How is it no judge will give you the search private property of someone possibly being hurt, held against their will, or even, God forbid, murder? But you can get a warrant to, kick down a house that might be selling crack and milk.
So, Delaney, how far is Grand Prairie, Alabama from Goche, Mississippi? Since the boys supposedly live in that town.
Grand Bay is nowhere. Grand Bay is up the road. You'll be there in 20 minutes.
Okay. So it wasn't unusual for them to come to that town. Of course, they had to because he was supposedly the best friend of your son.
Exactly. Well, originally when my son first met them, they was not living in Grand Bay, Alabama. They were living in Hurley, Mississippi.
Okay. All right, Delaney, hold on 1 second because we need to take a break and we'll be right back.
Okay.
If you is the mother of Desmond Moore. Desmond Moore went missing from Goche, Mississippi. That's down there on the coast, about an hour from Louisiana. He went missing back in August.
I think the oldest one is 22 and the youngest one might be 21.
How many police officers does the Goche Police Department have? I've never, cause see, I've never.
It's trying to make the police get up and do their job and stop trying to cover up, stop telling me lies, stop telling me you're doing this. We're 30 and 25 officers, and then when I check, you and one of the officers arrived to a certain location and search. And then you been searching for probably an hour or 30 minutes. We didn't use any cadaver dogs. And when my son first went missing, they didn't even get up and search for my child. They could have gotten video footage from the local liquor store that was on Letner Road, which is the road he walked down.
So
until they bring me a body. So they bring me a body saying that
do you think though? Because You all can't hear the interview. Can y'all hear me? Are you all able to hear me? If you can hear me, do a thumbs up. If y'all can hear me, give me a thumbs up. Okay, hold on one second.
He's been out for months
Right.
because he wasn't working.
Can y'all hear the interview
and
now?
I guess what I was getting at is, and if they were afraid, maybe, you know, if the phone
If y'all
was
can
on
hear the
him,
interview, give me a thumbs
that he could
up.
be located if they did something to him. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah,
the vicinity.
They already got rid of the iPhone, you know?
Yeah.
Because one of the brothers worked for a cell phone tower. That's what he do. He climb on towers.
Oh, wow. You can't, okay. Oh. Whew, I tell you. So their parents, his father, has not called you, tried to comfort you, nothing. Has not spoken to you at all, the two boys' fathers.
Oh, no. They don't even call. That's what I'm saying. They don't even call. And I have a lady out of Albany, Mississippi, Miss Barbara Hayes, she created the Bring Dead My Home page. And she sent a friend request to Brandon and was trying to reach out to his friends, you know, to help with the search. He had accepted it, but then rejected it or whatever. If you were so close to my son, why aren't you concerned with trying to find him?
So he accepted it and then deleted her as a friend.
Correct. They said like within a matter of minutes.
Once he found out that it was about Desmond, that it was his page, his missing persons page.
I guess so.
And this was supposedly his best friend.
No, that's the best friend brother. But he was supposed to be his friend also.
Right. And he was actually with his brother that day when they went and met Desmond, right?
Yes. And also, before I forget, when he went to my ex-husband's house, the first thing he tells my ex-husband is, well, you know, Desmond owed me $700. He had bailed my son out like a year ago. But Desmond had.
I believe that is the reason that Desmond went missing. Right there. I think that she says that the brother had loaned Desmond $700 to get out of jail. And when they went, Desmond, I guess, took too long to pay him back. They asked Desmond to meet them at the Pizza Hut or wherever it was. And I think when he didn't have the money, they killed him. They took him and they killed him. I think he decided he's going to either give me my money or I'm going to kill him. And he killed him.
He got stopped for no driver's license, went through a roadblock, no driver's license, no insurance. So they took him to jail. Well, apparently his brother borrowed the $1,700 from him to Desmond out. Desmond paid him back $1,000. And Desmond had been telling him he's not working. When he go back to work, he'll give him the other $700. So he tells my ex-husband, when he say, y'all still haven't heard from Desmond, my ex-husband say, no, he said, when you go, he still owed me $700.
Nothing. He just says, have you?
Nothing.
So do you think that maybe that something happened about that $700 and maybe that's the reason?
I'm thinking that could have something to do with it. Yeah. When it's $700 worth hurting somebody,
right?
$700 worth taking somebody's life.
So you said that they hid the car that they were in the day that they picked your son up.
Yes, and they forgot that they actually went by my ex-husband's house that same day looking for my son.
Mm-hmm.
They asked my brother-in-law, was Desmond there? Did he know where Desmond was? So for them to even lie to the police and say that wasn't the car, what you did, you came to Mama's Point and then you went back to Grand Bay and got a blue car and came to Guthrie. That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm. So, and the police know that their stories are inconsistent.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you about Guthrie. When Guthrie Lieutenant contacted me, which was the Friday, the day before, it was going to make a week that Desmond was missing. Because he was upset that I took the tag information to the sheriff's department. And I told him, because I don't trust you guys. You didn't move. I don't trust you. I don't believe nothing you say. So that's why I went to the sheriff's department. So he was upset and said, well, they didn't like how Lieutenant Miller came at them. I said, what you mean? How he came at them? He came and he talked to them as suspects in a missing person case. What was he supposed to talk to them like they were newborn babies? And he didn't say nothing out of the way. He was just asking questions. So, do you know Desmond Moore? When was the last time you seen Desmond Moore? When was the last time you talked to Desmond Moore?
Mm-hmm.
It was nothing, out of the way. But they were offended. Why? Because the police is asking you questions and you are possibly guilty. It offended you so. And for those days, Lieutenant to call me for the attitude. So me and him got off on the wrong foot from that day on.
Mm-hmm. So did you ever try and speak with the what's the name of the town in Alabama that they live in?
Grand Bay.
Grand Bay. Did you ever speak with Grand Bay, Alabama police, the town that the two boys live in?
No, I never spoke to them. I believe Gaucher claimed they talked to him or was gonna talk to him. I don't know. I've been told so many lies, I can't even keep track.
Mm-hmm. So in your heart, tell me what you think happened.
My son got in their car and on back to North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he'll lie. Because he lied already. Got caught up in his life.
Because
I don't believe.
In the beginning.
I don't trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And I have family and friends in the police department. And this has been a very terrible, nauseating experience dealing with local police. And it's sad because I have police from other states reaching out to me, asking me, well, did they do this? Did they do this? Did they do that? And I'm like, no one ever came to my house. No one came and got some clothes. No, I never heard. They never said they had dogs. No, they didn't look for videotape. It was a bunch of no. They didn't do anything that I guess basic one-on-one missing person you should have done.
And they never asked the boys.
They have not been properly trained.
And they never asked the boys to actually come in and give a statement. They just called them on the phone.
Gunplay police, the captain and the lieutenant told me, well, they lawyered up. So I'm like, what does that mean? Get them and their lawyer in here. Well, we can't make them come in. Really?
Wow.
If that's the case, all criminals need to go get a lawyer and never talk to the police.
Mm-hmm.
If it's that simple.
So when the young man
Murder me by 3-4 people, give me a lawyer. Police say come in, I say no, talk to my lawyer.
So when the young man got the tag number, and actually described the car. Even your ex-husband was a witness. They said they needed witnesses. Those two people. My ex-husband's brother. Your ex-husband's brother. They talked to him. He told them how they came to the house and all of that. But see, Desmond wasn't at my ex-husband's house when they went to his house. So they're saying they need to find that guy that gave me the tag number and say that he saw Desmond get in the car. Okay. That's some bullshit. You hear what I say? So were you all able to find the young man who gave the tag number? No. I couldn't. To be honest, like I told the police, I couldn't even describe it to you. So now back to the young lady who Desmond was with, his girlfriend of 3 years, she was at your. All right, they would bring that feet. And then I said, this is something, yeah, we didn't find it. When you do searches for someone's loved one, you should let them know, hey, we're going to search here. It seemed like to me that's what they do across the board, because Howard Barnett's family says that the police told them that they did a search and they never told them anything. They don't know what day they did it, but for this search that they're getting ready to do, Howard Barnett's mother wants to make sure that her and her family is out there. They can go out there and stand out there as most families do when they do a search. Just be out there for support. Let the police and the search teams do their thing, and they can stand back and watch that. And I think all families should be given their choice, because it's not good enough for police to say that they did a search. Now, that was in Gautier, Mississippi, down off of the Gulf. She says that they are an hour from New Orleans. Okay, so they are around Biloxi, and so basically the same thing happened. These kids, these boys that now you heard her say they was riding around. They went to her husband's brother's house. They was riding around looking for that boy. They had decided that they was going to kill him because it was taking him too long to pay the rest of that money back. That's exactly what they did. Okay. And that's exactly what they did. And they've been walking around living their life for about 11 years, 12 years. Right. And when I called Gautier Police Department earlier this year to ask were there any updates, they said they did not have a Desmond Moore in their system. So it's almost like the young man was never even born. That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Like these young men, their dad has a lot of property. They lived in that part of Mississippi. They just crossed over. It's just like that part of Alabama. It's just like South Haven, Mississippi would be to Memphis. Okay, about 5 minutes, 10 minutes up the road across the state line, and you're right in Mississippi. This is the exact same thing. Those young men's father is some type of big time politician around. Well, those are small areas, okay, where it ain't but 10 people and all of them family, and they vote you in, okay, but they all still connect with each other, right? If he lived over in that area, he cross over, he get into politics. It's nothing for him to call the mayor of a small town like that. I'm sure he's in with them, and then they insure, because it's showing in the system. When I call, they're saying that they don't have a Desmond Moore missing person in their system. They've totally wiped this young man out. Never looked for him. The same white boys that were supposed to be his friends are walking around every day. Okay. And I'm pretty sure all that land that they have, while the police are saying, well, we can't go on the land, no judge is going to give us a search warrant. With all of the judges, they all know each other. Of course not. And I'm pretty sure, unfortunately, I hate to say it, that her son is buried on that land. Why would they hide the car? Because they did something to him in the car. Okay. You heard her say that the boy's daddy said, I know my rights. Y'all not searching my car, and my boys ain't giving no statement. Okay, since when
Did police ever not take a statement just because somebody is lawyered up? You bring the lawyer comes in with them. And you just let the boy's dad and say, my sons ain't giving no statement and y'all ain't looking at my car either. And they just let that go. And now he's not even in the database as far as they are concerned. Because I called down there in Gautier, Mississippi, when I called and asked for an update on Desmond Moore case, they said we don't have a Desmond Moore case in our system. Okay, this is a true story. And so things of this nature happen every day. You heard Delana say that Desmond said that this white boy was his best friend. This was supposedly his best friend, but it was nothing for him and his brother to make him go missing. And they felt like they could do that in that area and get away with it. And what they do, all the stories are the same. We didn't see him. We don't know anything. He was supposed to meet us. He never showed up. The same thing with Nolan Wells. He was supposed to get back on the boat. He didn't get back on the boat. He stayed behind. We don't know what happened. Okay? It's the same thing, different people. These are the types of things when we teach our children. I mean, we should not judge people based on race, but you definitely have to teach your kids, yes, I am just as good as anybody else. We are supposed to be equal, but we're not. Okay? Because you set them up for failure when you think you've made it just because you can live in a white neighborhood around white people who have been raised up racist. And their family members that listen to their dad, oh, she's a nice woman, but she's black. They say it all the time. Oh, he's a nice man to be black. Okay. And so we have to be wise as it relates to these things. And this type of stuff is consistently happening in our community. I know y'all heard about the young man down in Dallas that went fishing with his friends. And I think they just made an arrest on one of his friends. They didn't want to do it. He went fishing. I'm hearing that they tortured the boy. Okay, they didn't want to make no arrest. And I'm willing to bet that the little white guy is going to be right back out. Okay. His name is hold on one second, you guys. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. His name is Daniel Irvin. Daniel Irvin's family is demanding murder charges against 19-year-old Lucas Roper, rejecting the current charges of tampering with physical evidence. The family of 18-year-old drowned in Lake Ray Hubbard spoke publicly Monday morning, calling for murder charges following the arrest of a teenager accused of orchestrating a long cover-up of his death. The news conference held at 11 a.m. at the Next Generation Action Network headquarters. Daniel Irvin's family, joined by legal counsel and community service, expressed deep, agonizing grief and a total loss of confidence in the initial police response, demanding that authorities look past the tampering charges. Okay, now this young man went fishing with his white friends. Okay, they drowned him. Instead of them charging them with murder, okay, the white boy finally confessed, and they charged him with tampering with evidence and not murder. Okay, y'all, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. Hold on one second. They just made the arrest yesterday, and they still didn't charge him with murder. They charged him with tampering with physical evidence. That's him right there. It says Dallas police have detained a 19-year-old suspect in connection to a teenager's drowning at Lake Ray Hubbard this past April. That's him right there. He ain't get ready to do a damn day. Dallas police arrested 19-year-old Lucas Roper on July 9th. He has been charged with one count of tampering with physical evidence. Roper was arrested in connection to the April 13th drowning of 18-year-old Daniel Irvin at Lake Ray Hubbard. Irvin's body was discovered on April 17th, 4 days after his drowning. An arrest affidavit states that after Irvin drowned, Roper and a juvenile suspect threw Irvin's clothes into the tree line near a bridge above Lake Ray Hubbard. Police also learned that 2 suspects fled the scene in Roper's vehicle. As they fled, the juvenile suspects threw Irvin's phone out of the vehicle. The Rowland Police Department later recovered Irvin's clothes and cell phone, on which they located the phone calls and messages between Roper and Irvin. Roper told police after the trio jumped into the lake from the bridge, Irvin drowned. Roper said he panicked and deleted all the cell phone communications between them. The 19-year-old said he deleted the communication because he did not want to get in trouble, as he knew there would be an investigation into his death. Police later interviewed the juvenile suspect who told police Roper told him to throw Irvin's cell phone from the vehicle as they fled the lake. Now, why would they do that? If you are out there with your friend and y'all in a lake and one is drowning, you either try to save him. If you can't save him, you get back to land and you call the police and try to get help out there. You don't throw his clothes away. How the hell they throw his clothes away and they ditch his phone? Okay? And all they do is charge them with tampering with evidence. It's something not right about that. Because if somebody is drowning, you hurry up and try to get help. How you feel like you're going to get in trouble? Okay? And listen, they've given him a charge that he'll never, that's going to get him a slap on the wrist. And so that's why that family has to fight to ensure charges are brought against him. Okay? Against both of them. Hold on one second, you all. Now, it's only been since this situation happened with Nolan Wells that they decided that they would give this young man a slap on the wrist for what has happened to Irvin. They gave him a charge that they could have kept. That's an insult right there. To give him a charge like that is worse than charging him. That's worse than not charging him, rather. So they just did another arrest 9 minutes ago. They went ahead and got the other teen and they charged him with evidence tampering. 2 people have been arrested after investigation alleged they concealed evidence following the drowning death of an 18-year-old at the North Texas lake earlier this year. Lucas Roper, 19, and a third year Irvin. Okay, this is a tragic accident, they say. Brown said detectives conducted a thorough investigation, including interviews, evidence collection, and coordination with the Dallas County medical examiner. The medical examiner determined that Irvin's cause of death was drowning and the manner of death was ruled an accident. How in the hell would a medical examiner know if a drowning was an accident or not? Evidently, it wasn't no accident. Why did they feel the need to try and hide everything? The first thing you do is you get some help out there when you get back to land. Why did they have to try to hide everything? Threw his phone out, threw his clothes out in the tree. It's something ain't right about that. But they want to give them the smallest charges that they can give them so that they can get a little bit of probation. They'll never do a day. They'll never do a second. And that will be expunged off of their history in 2 months. In 60 days, it'll be expunged. It'll be just like nothing ever happened. And that young man is in his grave. Okay? No, they're not going to upgrade those charges. They're never going to upgrade them. It's an insult. I'd rather them had not charged them with anything at this point than to charge them with tampering. That's in the eyes of the family, that's more of an insult even to the Black community. And so, y'all, this is sad. All of the things that go on, you know, we are an endangered species, okay, with all races. That's why I can't understand why we kill each other so much. Like it's a sport. You know, and listen, the same type of anger and stance that we take when people of other races do this, we need to and it's a shame. So I have to say rest in peace to all of the 3 young men, all 3 of them, because Desmond has been missing now since 2014. Desmond is not coming home, and he's right there on that land of those people who they refuse to go and even question, okay, because they lawyered up. And so it takes the FBI. I don't trust the MBI in Mississippi, period. I don't trust. There was another case of James Irby, and his family came up to my studio. Okay. MBI wouldn't do anything. MBI is like TBI in Mississippi. They wouldn't do anything. And they killed them folks killed that man. Those police officers killed that man. And they said that he ran off, and these were young officers, and that they didn't realize when they said that about the man had asthma, cancer, and gout. He never could have ran across a football field and outran them. Okay. And he has not been seen since. They killed him. Those Mississippi police officers killed him. Okay. And that lady died just this year. His mother died here wanting justice for her son. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Rest in peace to James Irby. Hold on, you guys. All of this shit happening in Mississippi. It don't be no justice down there. Okay.
he politely told the mayor, this is Mr. Irving family. It was 6 of them up in the booth.
Mm-hmm.
You would have thought the mayor would have came out and shook our hand and tell us that sorry or something like that. She never moved. She never moved from about the booth. So this is the statement that she made. She said, no, we don't have no update on him. But I can tell you one thing. If she used that same word that chief used. If he show up, he going to jail. Ooh, I got so mad with her. That's when I told Chief Harry, I said, if I could have just stood up in that place, he said, well, Ms. Jones, you had your right. I said, well, I didn't know. I said, because I would have told her a piece of my mind. She used the same word that Gary used, that if word.
So she had no empathy or sympathy and didn't feel like it was suspicious either,
No.
although everybody else in the whole world feels it's suspicious. Even the mayor that has been elected to this town. Is she still there?
I don't know. I think she's still there.
Okay. A female white, because normally females, well, we're all human, and
Some other to the family showing, her feeling, toward. She never moved from out the booth. She said, well, I can tell you right now, we don't have no update on him. Only update that I have on him, if she used that same word that the Chief Gary used, if he show up, he going to jail. She said that.
Now, a lot of people.
Not my problem.
Okay, so what I did was with that case, there was actually video of the last time he was seen. That's video of the police department actually pulling him over. He claimed that he pulled out a taser. It looks like a gun to me, and he ran across the street. I think once he got out of the sight of the camera, they actually shot him and killed him. That man has not been seen a day since. That man they said he outran the police department. So they had the police department. Now that was in Walls, Mississippi. They had Hernando, Mississippi, and another police department to all come up there. They all got together and hid that man's body. They shot that man and killed him. But he didn't get a lot of attention either. So you didn't see Al Sharpton in them because it wasn't a lot of media attention as it relates to that. The man James Irby was on his way to his cousin's funeral. He gets pulled over by the police department. He's aggravated because he want to know why the police department pulled him over. Well, he wasn't speeding. He was in a car that looks like the suspect of someone, looked like a car of somebody else that they were on the lookout for, right? James is telling him, he's on the phone, aggravated. He's telling the police, I'm on my way to a funeral, to my cousin's funeral. I'm going to be late. The police officer gets aggravated with James, Hold on one second. I wish I could make the video bigger.
More, and she got rid of him, and the police chief was fired also. So their family is just trying to. James Irby's family loves him, and they want to know what happened. They know that he would not go into hiding for 3 years for no misdemeanor. They don't even think he could have ran across that field. Now, Miss Fowler, was that field real big? Because they said he ran across the field.
Gary said 400 yards. 400 yards, that's just like 2 football fields. Now, who in the world running that fast with prostate cancer, asthma problem, and gout? Not my problem. Now, I can see that they had said that Gary and Jenkins were running at each other.
Because they were physically able.
Right. But for that, my brother, no, ma'am. No, man.
Police get back out the car.
The minute he crossed, the minute he crossed that road, tape went blank. When that tape went blank, you tell. When the tape went blank, something went wrong. Because you never see Jenkins come back up in that tape and tell boo-hoo. Then all of a sudden you see the car. He had another police officer. I'm assuming that may have been one of his friends. Now his friend was supposed to be in the car. The other police officer was.
Now y'all see the police officer chase him across. He says that it was, why did he pull the taser out? Okay, and after you all see them run across, I'm gonna rewind it just one more time.
Supposed to be in.
I don't know, that look like a gun to me.
No, ma'am. The minute he crossed, just like the minute he crossed that road, tape went blank. Okay, when that tape went blank, you tell. When the tape went blank, something went wrong. Because you never see Jiggly come back up in that tape and tell boo-hoo. Then all of a sudden you see the car. He had another police officer. I'm assuming that may have been one of his friends. Now his friend was supposed to be in the car. The other police officer wasn't supposed to be in.
That man got out of sight and has not been seen from that day to this one. MBI, which would be like the TBI of Memphis, says that they don't think that there was any foul play. They feel like that he is on the run for a misdemeanor traffic warrant that he had, and he's been missing now since about 2013. He's supposed to be gone all that time. His mother has died. He hadn't shown up at her funeral. Nothing like that. His family been looking for him. He's supposed to be in hiding, okay, because of a damn traffic ticket, right? So since he went across that field that day, that police officer, we see that on camera, had that gun pointed at him. The man has not been seen since. The police officer says that this man outran him, okay? When he said that he didn't know that this man had prostate cancer, asthma, real bad asthma, and gout. That is on his medical record. He could not run. Okay, he couldn't run. He couldn't hardly get up and walk from one place to the other. Hardly. So how is he going to outrun him in a 400 feet field? Okay, which is what that was when they ran across that way. He was up close on that man with that gun out. He shot that man and they hid him and took him somewhere and buried him. And you can't get an official in you can't get an official in Mississippi to do anything about it. Okay. Now, here's what's so crazy. When the first time they came up to my TV when I was over to my studio, they had the NAACP leader in Mississippi. If that man wasn't whitewashed and scary, oh no, well, you know, I don't want to get on camera and say that. Well, I don't want to make anybody mad. We can't make those type of accusations. What he bring his ass up there for? All he was doing was telling the family what not to say. Well, now don't say that. Well, now we don't want to say that about the police. What you bring your scary ass up there for? Your Uncle Tom ass up there for? You know, the NAACP is so whitewashed now. I mean, they really the only reason they got a lot of people in the NAACP now is to make sure that they keep the good black folks in line. Okay, don't get me started. These cuckabug heads, these scary cuckabug heads, okay? They too scared to do anything. The NAACP gets funded now by a lot of white millionaires. That's the way that you control an organization. These Negroes ain't no damn good. And that's the reason why when you got these black ass cuckabug heads around here killing each other, okay, because they jealous of each other. I don't give a damn about them putting them in jail. You destroy your own damn community because you got mental issues and you jealous hearted, okay? It's sickening, and this is a sick world. It's a sick world. We are lost people. And we have the nerve to, you know, we think about other communities and they'll say, well, you know, the Indians they're prejudiced, and You have the Africans, they come from Africa. They don't want to be with the African Americans. I don't want to be, I wouldn't want to be with them either. Hell, think about it yourself. Okay, I wouldn't want to be with them either. Look at how screwed up we is. The Africans come from their country and they all get in a damn, all you see them in is African attire. Okay, they open up an African store and they go up in there and they buy them rags. They keep them African stores. They patronize each other. They ain't sick and messed up in the head like the African Americans. Why would they want to integrate with us? Well, they do our braids. Whether they do our damn braids or not, they're going to make money because the Africans that come from Africa and go up in there going to make sure they stay in business because they're going to patronize them and go up in there and get their damn hair braided. Okay? That's what they do. All right? They stick together. And they had, I don't like the Africans think they better than us. They is. Their mindset is different than these damn fools. Okay, that's been totally out. People have been messed up. They did a work on our folks. Look at how these damn fools act on here and the shit that they do. Okay? Crabs in a bucket. And they'll take a dime. That's the reason why folks say, well, you know, she be talking about Dolph for the numbers. This, look, YouTube couldn't pay me what the money that I make, okay, off of here. It couldn't. All right, it could, but it don't. I don't spend enough time on here. But Dolph is an example of dying for jealousy. And now you look at God with his eyes stretched all open, and our people are so sick. It's got me in shock that you kill a man for nothing. Everybody should be outraged and say, well, you know, he's the last man standing. He got all of that money. That's the reason why they do these motherfuckers like that. And they look at us and laugh and kill our sons and daughters because you motherfuckers is sick. You mentally twisted. Okay? And it just ain't, it's like you can't get no better in our community. Me as a black woman. Okay? I shouldn't have to get on here and threaten to send now man to jail or now woman. I shouldn't have to beg. Leave me alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me the fuck alone. Leave me alone. Nobody should have to do it. Our people are twisted. And the moment I say, motherfucker, I'm sending your ass to jail. Now, she that be wanting to send somebody to jail. Every man should have been outraged at a motherfucking man messing with a woman that ain't did nothing to them. Any man should have said it. But you know what's going on? A lot of men hate women. And they feel like women are supposed to take a lot of pain. Okay? Then they get me, well, you out of your place. You have somebody stand up and say, wait a minute, that motherfucker wrong. Leave that woman alone. She just be wanting to send niggas there. I shouldn't have to threaten to put the folks on no motherfucker. Leave folks alone. And that's the issue in our communities. It ain't no respect. You jealous and you'll lose it all because you're a jealous motherfucker. I'm willing to lose it all to make sure she don't have it. Because I'm telling you something. As the judge said, it's one place I ain't gonna lose at. And that's at my house. You send a motherfucker over here, I'm gonna knock him down. Okay? That's one place I ain't gonna lose at is up in this motherfucker because I'm gonna blow you back up out of here. And I shouldn't have to go that far. But our community ain't got no respect. It's just jealousy. The bottom line, why they kill Dolph? Well, you know, he had said something about Gotti. Everybody talk about Gotti. Dolph had what he said he had. The bottom line is jealousy. And that is what is rooted in our community. They already know all they got to do is give you a corn dog. They already know it. They had gave me a lifetime of corn dogs. Yeah, I sold them motherfuckers out. They ain't give me nothing. You selling out the future of your own damn community for a damn corn dog, a lifetime of corn dogs. No type of pride. You can't get another community to do that. Not another one. Not another one. And so it's so sad because we don't take no pride in what we do. We take anything. One of the things that I didn't do is I've never taken less. And we don't respect. We'll go in Gucci and Louis Vuitton. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I was out there working with them defense teams and stuff, I worked my ass off. I ain't cut no slack because I already knew the white investigators couldn't walk up in the damn neighborhoods that I walked in, and the people trusted me. I could sit on the porch and talk to them and get statements. I was not going to be cheap. I knew my value. But these black folks will walk up into Gucci, Chanel, they'll pay top dollar. They're going to go live. Yeah, I had gotsy. Bitch, you ain't even paid your light bill in 3 months. Yeah, I had gotsy. I want them to see I can afford that Chanel and that Louis Vuitton. But you want to kill somebody. You want to kill your friend because after you go live and you buy that purse that you ain't even got the money that the purse costs to put in it. You want your friend to loan you the light bill. She won't loan it to you and you kill her. But then somebody who's trying to have a legit business, you want your friend to give you the hookup. You ain't going to walk in Walmart or Target or none of these white stores and ask for no hookup. So that's why I did not play. When them attorneys called me, when they had some money, they ain't got no money. These attorneys ain't got no money. They can't even hire no private investigators. Okay, they couldn't. Hey, Delana, there go Desmond Moore's mother. They couldn't hire no private investigators. It got to a point they couldn't afford to hire. They wanted to keep all the money in. Well, I'm going to pay you this. I said, no, you're not going to pay me anything. You're going to give me what I asked for. But even with the black people, okay, them white investigators double charged them. I went into Orange Mound and they wouldn't talk to me. You're damn right they're not going to talk to you. Okay? Oh, okay. The master said he went over, they wouldn't talk to him. But a black girl can walk over there and talk to anybody, go anywhere as it relates to, because we're the ones that saturate the court system. What's your fee? $4,500? Oh, you too high. That's what I had one say, that's what the white man charged. Didn't you just have him? He didn't give you nothing. Yeah, but you just as expensive as the white man, as if I'm supposed to be cheap. And you get a white man for $4,500. He didn't deliver shit. But you saying I'm black and I'm more expensive or just as expensive as the white man, but I deliver. It's something wrong with our people. You damn right. And you get no results from me, motherfucker, if you don't come up with it, because I should have charged you $5,000. Okay? But that is the point. I couldn't be a black investigator and deliver nothing. I gave you all that money, you deliver nothing. But the white man could tell you, I went over there, they wouldn't talk to me. Yes, sir, master. They laughed. It's something wrong with us. Okay? Y'all, Desmond Moore's mother just came up in here. Delana, I don't know if you was in here when I was playing the video. I was played the old video of what we did, the interview that we did sometime back. But Desmond's case, when I saw that Nolan Wells case, I said that Desmond's case, your son's case, reminded me of that. I was talking about all of the injustices in Mississippi. Okay, these black men get killed, they go missing, and you can't get them to do nothing. They're not going against the police department, nothing. I was telling them I called Gautier Police Department to see if there was any updates on Desmond's case. The officer down there said he didn't see a Desmond Moore in their system. So it's like nothing. It's like they have nothing. I said, what do you mean? I don't see a Desmond Moore, a missing persons Desmond Moore case in our system. So they have nothing as it relates to his investigation, and them white boys that killed him is still walking around. They won't do nothing. Probably it's been 12 years now. They done probably killed a few more black folks and hid it on their land. Okay? Because they already know that nothing is going to happen. It takes outsiders to come in, okay, to shoot fire up under the MBI ass, so they know they got to do something. Because now we got Washington D.C. FBI then came in. They watching us. We got to go ahead and do something. That's what just happened with the situation in Dallas with the Irving young man. They had to do something. They threw the boy clothes away. Why would they hide if somebody mistakenly drowned? Why in the hell would they get scared and leave the boy in the lake? They did something to him. And now they give them the lowest charges that they can give them, something that can be expunged. That's never going to get them a day. Not even probation. Okay? It'll be thrown out and that'll be expunged if it's ever on their history. And these young men are no longer with us. And that's why I say we have bigger fish to fry. We worry about the wrong shit. And we got real issues. Okay? Because our children are definitely an endangered species. Okay? Not just as it relates to white people, but black ones too. We got to deal with our own community. We got to deal with this black on black crime, okay? Because once we start, you notice that they don't do this in other communities like that. That's because they already know they're gonna rally together and they're gonna stick together, and it's gonna be some damn repercussions. They're not gonna go do no looting. They're not gonna loot. They're not gonna walk and stand in front of City Hall with crosses and screaming and busting out windows. They're not gonna do that. It's gonna be some type of legalities that happen. That's why they don't do it to the other communities, because there are some organization. It ain't no organization in our community, because after you get through looting and tearing up your own damn neighborhood and taking the drink machines out the stores, and hell, a lot of the folks you see out there looting, they sitting up talking about they protesting. You can't even get them to go to work. They ain't even got no damn jobs. But you'll get your ass up after you in a gang and you done shot up about 3-4 black boys that you say is your opposition. That's my op. I killed 4 niggas last week, but you done got your funk ass up to go and loot. Because you sitting up telling they had killed it, a white person had killed it, a black man. It's something wrong with our community. You won't go to work. You won't do nothing, but you'll go and loot. You'll go and riot. There's no organization, because after you get through tearing up your own damn neighborhood, you still ain't got no laws passed or changed. Okay? And so when we start caring about what goes on in our community, You're not going to see people too quick to think that they can just kill our black men. There is an issue in Mississippi. They don't convict white people for killing black people. When was the last time you saw any white person? They ain't even brought charges, don't even be brought against them in Mississippi. That's an issue. That's something ain't being dealt with. Never has and never will. I can't think of a case, and it happens a lot in Mississippi, where these white kids are killing other black kids and nothing happens to them. Nothing happens. You got Desmond that has been missing. You can't get them to do nothing in the news media on him. Now, what it's going to take is, it's going to take a big production, okay, for it to be brought to the forefront. And then you might, maybe a celebrity will jump on board. This will be the time, because the exact same thing that happened to Nolan Wells happened 12 years ago to Desmond Moore. The exact same thing. The only difference is Nolan Wells' body was found. They never intended for it to be found. And Desmond's hasn't been. But the exact same thing happened. And it's going to continuously happen. And they're not going to charge anybody in Mississippi. I'm telling you now, they're not going to charge these people. You got the Gautier Police Department down there sitting up talking about they don't even have on file that Desmond Moore is missing. So you got a young black man who has a mother that is still looking for him. Okay? Missing without a trace. Almost like there's no, and you got the Gautier Police Department saying we don't have in our system anything as it relates to a Desmond Moore. Okay? And so there has to be some changes made. It's a lot of black folks down there in Mississippi. Okay? But unfortunately, they don't know their power. They don't know their power. Delana, you should bring a wrongful death lawsuit against that white family. Bring a wrongful death lawsuit against the police department, or some type of lawsuit against the police department, but definitely against them boys' family. You have to be ready to, Jacqueline. You have to be ready to do it. Because see, they think they're going to be able to ride off into the sunset, and they know just going back and looking at that video where they was looking for Desmond earlier that day. They was looking for Desmond to do what they did to him. They had decided, it was premeditated. They had decided that day that whatever they did to him, that they was going to do it. That's why they was riding around looking for him. I mean, I would feel good. I would feel better if somebody went and questioned the boys. They never did that. Well, the police chief or whoever, the mayor, probably knew the family of the boys. And they decided that they weren't going to do anything. Okay. But yeah, I think that Delana should bring a wrongful death lawsuit. At least then she'll get some answers. That Delana, that will force them to have to come to court. File a wrongful death lawsuit against the family, those boys. They good and grown now. I think they could have tracked the phone. They didn't try to track it. Because they could have saw the last time what the place where the phone pinged at or something. But I think his mom said his phone was off. So these are the things that our community needs to be organizing and working on, But we got to clean up the stuff that goes on in our community, such as these black on black crimes. To me, it's an insult. When you see Al Sharpton and them, their phones were turned off and Desmond's phone was not in service. Well, they turned their phones off because they didn't want to be able to be tracked. Because one of the boys worked for a phone company, didn't it, Delana? Or he worked for one of those phone companies. Because see, back then, if you had your phone off, they couldn't trace you. Now, if you have your phone off, they still can. Says, and make sure that you document everything so in case something were to happen to you, you have proof. The older brother worked on phone towers. Oh, wow. So that explains why he went and asked your brother-in-law, did Desmond have another phone? Wow. It's sad. It really is. Ain't nothing changed from the Mississippi burning days. Nothing. But Mississippi is not going to charge any white person with the murder of. I'm getting ready to look it up on Google. When was the last time a white person has been charged with the murder of a black person in Mississippi? Oh, okay. It's okay. It says in August of 2024, a 50-year-old white man, Brian Neil Odom, was charged with first-degree murder in the shooting death of a 33-year-old black man in Richton, Mississippi. How long did it take him to charge him? It says the latest one is 2024. And they charged him with first degree murder in Rankin, Mississippi. I was really surprised to see that. And then it says in 2023, in another highly publicized case, 6 white Mississippi law enforcement officers were charged with and pleaded guilty to federal and state crimes for the racially motivated torture, assault, and attempted execution of 2 black men in Rankin County. That's it. So we're gonna be praying for Delana to go ahead and get that wrongful death lawsuit. Therefore, Delana, they'll be forced to come to court, and you can get more answers. You can get more answers. You can get more answers. They've been quiet, but they'll be forced to come to court. Wrongful death. They'll be forced to come to court and defend themselves, and they're going to have to say something. It says in 2005, the state of Mississippi successfully charged and convicted former Ku Klux Klan leader Edgar Ray Killeen with manslaughter for orchestrating the infamous 1964 murders of civil rights. And they gave him manslaughter? Okay, Delana. Y'all, shout out to Delana. That's Desmond's mother. And we're going to make sure we keep Delana in our prayers as it relates to Desmond Rogers. Hold on, let me see. I mean, Desmond Moore. I'm sorry. I think so. I think if it moved to another county, but not Alabama though. Maybe going further north. Maybe going further north. Because if Gautier is Mississippi is an hour from New Orleans, that means that Y'all know how the New Orleans system is. Anyways, you guys. Yeah, and then some people feel guilty and they know about what happened. All it takes is the police talking to them and they'll break down and tell what happened. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here because I got some more things to do. I haven't eaten or anything like that. I need to take my puppies out, but I enjoyed being on here with you all. Y'all, I got some videos that I am going to upload, so y'all be on the lookout for that. I am going to upload one of them tonight, so y'all be on the lookout for a video that I'm going to upload tonight, you guys. Shout out to Delana Moore for coming on here. You know, justice for Nolan Wells, justice for Mr. Irvin, and justice for Desmond Moore. Okay, justice for them, you guys. We got to have justice. We got to put our focus and our attention in the right places, because this is what we need, and we have to organize in order to take down the right people, not organize to take down people that we're jealous of, but to take down the right people so that our community can prosper just as everybody else's community does. And so we got to deal with in-house with the destruction that we have been doing amongst each other. Okay. Anyways, you guys, I love you all. I appreciate you all getting on tonight. Make sure you all please like, share, and subscribe. I love you all. Make sure y'all get on my praying line in the morning at 7 a.m. sharp. Okay. Central Standard Time. Go on my Real Talk with Tamara, or go on my wall on YouTube. The phone number is on there. Set your alarm clock on your phone. Get on at 7 a.m. We're on for 15 minutes, 7 a.m. to 7:15 a.m. The more of us on there that really agree on God's goodness, the better it is. Okay. I love you all. Y'all have a good night.